What's good, Commanders fans? We've got some time to sleep on it. Think about it, man. This move for Carson Wentz. I'm here. What's up, y'all? I'm gonna shout out a couple people in the chat, man. Just want to thank you guys for coming in, man. 1 o'clock during the day, 12:45. I know a lot of people are on their lunch break, but it's crazy. The Carson Wentz trade. I got to sleep on it and think about it a little bit more. Now I know some people are more positive than what I was yesterday. I'm still lukewarm to the move. I kind of get the feeling of how I felt when we got Ryan Fitzpatrick, to be honest with you. But I do want to go over a grade. Of course, we're going to talk about Landon Collins getting released. It's not a surprise at all. When you're paying a quarterback $28 million right now, and the cap space just got smaller, you're going to have to make moves. You're going to have to make moves. We got to add some guys in free agency. Right now, cutting Landon Collins and save $6.5 million towards the salary cap. Now we have $12.4 million in cap space. So, Landon Collins, we thank you for your service. I thought he played a lot better when he was playing a linebacker. He was that Buffalo nickel guy. He wasn't good at safety at all, but he played a lot better at Buffalo nickel. But it is what it is. $16 million to pay a $16 million cap hit for a safety who, is not good in coverage. It's hard. It's hard to pay him. They try to restructure. This is what he said. This is per Josina Anderson. She said that they asked him to restructure last week, and then they asked him to take another pay cut. They brought in Carson Wentz, and then the writing was on the wall right there. He was like, I'm not going to take a double pay cut. He was considering taking the first pay cut, but once they wanted him to take another pay cut after getting Carson Wentz, he was like, nah, I'm out. I just want to test free agency, which I don't blame him for both sides. I don't blame Landon Collins being ready to move on, and I don't blame Ron Rivera being ready to move on. Now, if he wanted to take a pay cut, I would have loved to keep him, honestly. I like Landon Collins. Like I said, the last half of the season, he played really, really well. The forced fumble against the Seahawks, the interception against the Seattle against the Eagles, the fumble pickup against the Eagles. He had a couple good games, but to pay him $16 million, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. And the thing is, with Carson Wentz, him making $28 million, now you have to build around Carson Wentz. So let me shout out a couple people in the chat here. But yeah, Wentz wagon, North Dakota assassin. Carson Wentz is a DC. It could be a revenge tour in the NFC East. But like I said, I'm lukewarm on the move. I'm not getting hyped up. Last year, we did a lot of hyping up Ryan Fitzpatrick. I remember the whole thing, advanced stats and all this stuff. Now, he does have a number one wide receiver in Terry McLaurin, which is something he did not have with the Eagles. Didn't really have that with the Colts. He did have a good running game, but Terry McLaurin will be his best wide receiver for sure. Austin Silver there, what's up, man? He says a B minus. I'm gonna get to my grade a little bit. Carl Chavis, shout out to him. He's a channel member. That's my guy. He said I'm confused in the 757. Ed, please make sense of this. Ron Rivera is desperate, man. We already know that. He struck out on Deshaun Watson. He struck out on Aaron Rodgers. Well, technically, he didn't really struck out on Deshaun Watson, but he saw the writing on the wall for that. The PR hit and all that. It wouldn't be a good look in DC. In my opinion, I would have tried to wait it out and see what happens. But you miss out on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson didn't want to come here. He didn't want to come to DC. He didn't want to play for us. He doesn't want to come to DC. Nobody really wants to come to DC. It's getting so bad to the point where we were almost about to get into a bidding war with Mitchell Trubisky and guys like Jimmy G. We got into a bidding war with Carson Wentz. Other teams inquired about Carson Wentz too. We traded two third-round picks, which might be a second-round pick. So Ron just got desperate, man. After the Russell Wilson trade, he got super, super desperate. He's in win now mode. Now I really feel like if Carson Wentz does not work out here, he will be on the hot seat because he's putting all his eggs in this basket right here. $28 million for 1 year. And I don't see him drafting a quarterback, to be honest with you. I think he's going to have to build around Carson Wentz because you're paying him all this money. Even though the next 2 years you can cut him, but this is Carson Wentz's last chance. This is Carson Wentz's last dance, his last chance. Honestly, is he upgrade over Taylor Heineke? Sure, you can say that, but if that's what we're going for, if that's what the goal is to just be a little bit better than Taylor Heineke, then where are you really going? But Carson Wentz, I'm gonna be optimistic about this. Maybe he's motivated to play the Eagles twice and get back at them, get some revenge on them. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. You can't always go off of stats. You look at the Jaguars game, wasn't a good game. Red flag right there on him. Now, his defense didn't help him out either. But losing to the Jaguars with 3-14, that's not a good look at the end of the year. The fact that Frank Reich, his coach with the offensive coordinator with the Eagles, then head coach with the Colts, took a chance on him. They gave a first round pick and a third round pick to the Eagles to take a chance on Carson Wentz. And then Jim Irsay, after 1 year, they're just ready to give up on you. The Eagles, the toxicity that happened over there, the ghost of Nick Foles, the statue of Nick Foles, and all that. So it's just a lot of stuff going on with Carson Wentz. But like I said, we'll see. This is his last chance. This is his last dance. So we'll see. Commander Joe, we just cut Landon Collins. Yeah, I just talked about that. I like I said, I appreciate what he did in DC. Didn't do much, but I thought he played well for the last half of the season. I thought he played really well the last half of the year. When he was playing Buffalo nickel, when he put his pride aside, he's not happy when they call him a linebacker. He gets really mad about that. We'll see whatever team he goes to. Who knows? He might go to an NFC East team and try to get, I wouldn't say revenge on us because I don't think we really ended on bad blood, but I wouldn't be surprised if Landon Collins tried to go to a NFC East team or something like that. Kind of like Ryan Kerrigan. Billy Massey says, honestly, okay with losing Collins. Eager young safeties get a chance. He should have taken a linebacker spot, being that's a major week. Yeah, he should have just embraced it, honestly. That's where he was playing better at linebacker than he was at safety. Firefall DC says, sign Mo Ali Cox ASAP. Yeah, we need to go hard at some guys in free agency. Now, we don't have a lot of cap space. We only got $12 million in cap space right now. We might try to, cut some other guys on the roster. There might be a cap casualty on the rosters, maybe on the defensive side. We don't have any guys that we can really cut offensively. Maybe restructure Eric Flowers' contract, see what can happen there. But I don't see us really making too many big moves in free agency because we just don't have the money right now available. But, of course, the cap space, the salary cap is a myth that everybody says. Reggie Reg, what's up, man? And my brother, he's glad Landon's gone. I'm not glad that Landon's gone, but we already knew it was gonna happen. We already knew it was gonna happen. When he didn't want to restructure, we already knew it didn't want to happen. It was gonna happen. Chris Olsen, me too. Kenneth Melton says, Wentz that dude. Wentz was good. 2017, which is 4 years ago. 2019, where he took him to the playoffs. He took the Eagles to the playoffs, and he got hurt. Jadeveon Clowney had the dirty hit on him. He had a concussion. He's never won a playoff game. He does have a winning record right now. Now, he was an MVP candidate in 2017, but that's 4 years ago. It's a long time ago. The Eagles year in 2020, where it ended badly through 16 touchdowns, 15 picks, got sacked 40 times, 50 times. That was bad. And then last year, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. Couldn't get the Colts to the playoffs with Jonathan Taylor and a solid defense. So Carson Wentz, is he one of the better options? Is he better than Jimmy G? I would take him over Jimmy G. Is he better than Mitch Trubisky? I'd take him over Mitch Trubisky. Is he better than Jameis Winston? It's a tough one. Is he better than Tyrod Taylor? Yeah, he's better. He's better than Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, he's better than those guys. Is he better than Colt McCoy, Andy Dalton? Yeah, I'd take him over those guys. I'd take him over Ryan Fitzpatrick too, to be honest with you. So I think, honestly, and I said this 2 weeks ago, when Carson Wentz, when they came up with the reports that the Colts were going to release Carson Wentz or just get rid of him in general, I really wanted to wait it out, but I'm hearing that, other teams inquired about Carson Wentz. At first, we wanted to offer a 4th pick and a 6th pick, but now, actually, we're getting a 7th pick back, too, if you guys didn't know that. So we did the 2nd-round pick swaps. We gave them 2 third-round picks, and they gave us now they're giving us a 7th-round pick. So you can't really stick your nose up at a 7th-round pick. It doesn't sound great, but, Cameron Curl was, a 7th-round pick, so you just never know. Jalen Dorsett. First time having a number 1 wide receiver, we should be straight. Get him help on offense and free agency in the draft. That's what I'm saying too, honestly. That's what I'm saying too, because if you look at how the Eagles treated Carson Wentz, you look at how they build around him. The Eagles didn't really do a good job of building around him. This is one thing I will say in Carson Wentz's defense. They drafted Jalen Reagor when they should have drafted Justin Jefferson. They drafted Jalen Hurts, who was a quarterback in the 2nd round, when they could have helped him out with more wide receiver help. They drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who didn't work out for them. They drafted Nelson Aguilar, who's okay, but he didn't really work out for them either. So, I mean, they didn't really help him out. And they had Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is a free agent. I would take a look at him. They had Dallas Goedert, but other than that, they didn't really have a lot of weapons. He was throwing the ball to Greg Ward, Boston Scott, and Quez Watkins, John Hightower, guys like that. I do think our wide receiver core is better than the Eagles' wide receiver core. And it's a little bit better than – I'm not going to say it's so much better than the Colts' wide receiver core, but Curtis Samuel, if he's healthy, is a big if. Huge if. If he's healthy, he can definitely help Carson Wentz out a lot. Same thing with De'Ami Brown. Carson Wentz has a strong arm. He has a stronger arm than Taylor Heineke. He's a bigger guy, stronger arm, better velocity on the football. He can throw the ball downfield. He is an upgrade over Taylor Heineke. He definitely is. There's not a question about that at all. Key himself, that's my guy. He said, thank you for the donation. He says, reminds me of Arizona's 2012 to 2016 good short-term fix. Yeah, it's another Band-Aid. It's another stopgap. Ron Rivera is desperate. He does not want to go with a rookie quarterback. He's looking at this class, and he's like, this class is kind of meh. It's not like a strong number one in the class. The class is okay. I don't think the class is trash, the quarterback class. But, Ron would rather go with a veteran guy, somebody who's proven, rather than drafting a Malik Willis or drafting a Kenny Pickett or somebody like that. So he'd rather go that route. So it makes sense. 2 third-round picks. It's not the worst trade in the world. But there are some red flags about Carson Wentz. Questions about his leadership. We know, and this is interesting too because Ron Rivera, he loves Boy Scouts. He wants his quarterback to be a leader, just like everybody else does. But he's a military guy. Things we've heard about Carson Wentz not being a great leader, kind of being in disagreement with Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson, not getting along with those guys in the organization. And then you hear rumors from the Colts he's not being a great leader either. So it's an interesting fit. It's an interesting fit for sure. Born Ready Jones, what's up, man? That's my guy. He's a Pacers fan. He's an Indiana Pacers fan. That's my guy. Kevin Charlie Cooper, he says, "What's good, Ed Oliver? How you been? This trade something else, right?" Yeah, it kind of gives me some vibes of Donovan McNabb 2.0. It really does. It gives me some vibes about that. Can Carson Wentz, can he stay healthy? Those are the questions. Can he stay healthy? Can he be a leader? Can he win big games? Can he win games in the clutch? That's the thing about the Colts. Those 2 last games of the year against the Raiders, against the Jaguars, they had 2 opportunities to make the playoffs. They lost to the Raiders against Derek Carr, who went on a game-winning drive. Where Derek Carr is clutch, in my opinion. I would have loved to have Derek Carr, but he's not available. Carson Wentz came up short in those games. He came up short against the Raiders. He came up short against the Jaguars. And that's a big reason why Jim Irsay was ready to move on. Some of his decision-making, some locker room things here and there that we've been hearing is why they were ready to move on. This is his 3rd team in 3 years. So it is a red flag on that. It's his 3rd team in 3 years. But once again, I'm going to be optimistic. I saw some of the comments in my video yesterday that I made. People are being very optimistic about it. If we build around Carson Wentz, if we get him another wide receiver, I think it should help him out a lot. Philly Talk Podcast is my guy, Philly Mike. Make sure you guys sub him up. Now, look, this is what I'm saying. We don't want to treat Carson like the Eagles did. We got to build around this man. We cannot draft Jalen Reagor and draft and pass up on Justin Jefferson. We got to get one of these boys in the first round. We got to get our Chris Olave or one of those guys, Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks, Drake London. We have a lot of options in the first round. I would not draft a quarterback. I would go after a nice wide receiver to help him out. Second round, go ahead and get a linebacker, Chad Muma, if he's there. Troy Anderson, one of those guys. Kristen Harris from Alabama, somebody like that. We don't have to. In my opinion, I would not get a linebacker in the first round. I would get a wide receiver in the first round to help Carson Wentz out. That's what I would do, in my opinion. Mega 412 said a little bit better. He threw half the interceptions and almost 10 more TDs. Yeah, he did. But like I said, the touchdown to interception ratio is not the end all be all of the story. Yes, he is better than Taylor Heinicke. That's a fact. I mean, you don't even have to really look at the numbers. You can just watch the games and see that. And Ron Rivera, he went 7-10 with Taylor Heinicke as a starting quarterback. We went against a first place schedule. This is going to be a third place schedule. He is going to Philly. Philly, Mike, you already know it's going to be crazy. When Carson Wentz goes back to Philly, there's going to be a lot of booze. Y'all probably going to be throwing beer on the court. Well, I'm talking about Ben Simmons. Y'all going to be throwing beer at Ben Simmons. I already know tonight. Y'all probably going to be throwing beer at Carson Wentz, too. I already know how y'all do in Philly. They're going to be booing him and whatnot. So it's going to give Carson extra motivation. That's why I am a little intrigued. I'm not going to say I'm excited, but I do want to see how Carson Wentz responds to coming back, playing in the NFC East. And one thing, Carson Wentz is 7-2 against the Giants. He owns the Giants. So there you go. Let's get 2 wins against the Giants on this third place schedule. We play the Colts, so he can get his revenge game against the Colts. We play the Jaguars, get his revenge game against the Jaguars. The whole NFC East, man. I'm telling you. So Carson Wentz, he beat up on the Washington football team or the Redskins at that time so much. It's time for him to return the favor. It's time for him to duck his head under and do all that stuff that he used to do to us. Robinero says Commander Carson going to command us to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't get that far. I wouldn't go that far. But Carson, can he take us to the playoffs? Playoffs? You talking about playoffs? I think he can get us to the playoffs. I think he can definitely get us to the wild card. We went 7-10 last year. Now the thing is, Carson Wentz, we got to surround him with some more weapons in a strong run game. Antonio Gibson helping him out. Curtis Samuel coming back healthy. Logan Thomas, we don't know when he's going to come back, but we need another tight end in my opinion. John Bates is coming back, of course, but I think we just need to add more offensively. We need to add some more talent, some guys that can run. Like I said, I would take a long, hard look at Garrett Wilson at 11, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, all those guys. Soy Sauce, he's a channel member. Shout out to him. Carson Wentz has never had a true number one wide receiver in his prime. Wentz, a tight end, was his receiving leader. Yeah, I mean Carson Wentz, he stepped up big in some big moments when he was when he was with the Eagles, when he had to lead them to the playoffs. Now, granted, he did play against us and the Giants and some bad teams down the stretch, but he did beat the Cowboys in that game. It was in Philly. It was cold out, and he had to throw the ball to Dallas Goddard and Zach Ertz. So the only guys he really had was Quez Watkins, John Hightower, guys like that, Greg Ward, and Boston Scott. Those are really his receivers. He didn't have much. Alshon Jeffrey was getting older and older. So he just didn't really have much, and I don't think the Eagles really did a good job surrounding him with talent, but I think Ron Rivera has an opportunity to actually help him out and get him a little bit more talent. But like you said, Terry McLaurin will be the best wide receiver that he's had, and I think this will help Terry McLaurin out a little bit. This will be Terry McLaurin's. I would say that Carson Wentz would probably be his best quarterback. It's between him and there's really nobody else. I mean, I guess you could argue like Alex Smith, but Alex Smith was on one leg and that's it. So Carson Wentz is probably going to be Terry McLaurin's best wide receiver out there. Air it out to Curtis Samuel, run the football with Antonio Gibson. We got to re-sign J.D. McKissick. We got to bring him back. So Skin the Man Alive. What's up, man? He says Seattle released Russell Wilson. I believe there's more than meets the eye there. Yeah, I mean, I would keep an eye on that too. I don't know what happened behind closed doors with him and Pete Carroll. I don't know if they got along or anything like that. But, we'll see. We'll see how he plays with the Broncos. The Broncos got a good team. They got Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, guys like that. So, DVD Sports Zone, Watson out of the window. Yeah, I think that's it. The hopes for Deshaun Watson is not going to happen anymore. It's definitely done. And I think, we hear some more information about that tomorrow about, some of the court cases or whatever is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to. Somebody had a conspiracy theory that we traded for Carson Wentz so we can trade Carson Wentz to the Texans and get Deshaun Watson. But that's just people just being crazy and being very optimistic. RIP Landon Collins. Yeah, Landon Collins, man. Like I said, I appreciate what he did here in DC. Didn't do much. The one time we went to the playoffs, he didn't even play. He tore his Achilles. It wasn't even available. But I thought he did some good things. Yeah, Dark Knight. I hope Landon Collins doesn't say anything bad about Washington. Yeah, people leave here all the time and they bash the organization. It's nothing new. I don't really see Landon Collins doing that. We gave him a 6-year, $84 million contract. We made this guy the highest paid safety at one time. When he is a box safety. That's what he is. He hates when people call him that. He hates when people call him a linebacker. But that's what he is. He's a box safety. He's better than a linebacker position. That's what he is. Collins won't say anything bad about Washington because he gave him a Sean Taylor jersey. Yeah, I don't think he'll say anything bad. But you never know. People leave here and always bash the Washington football team all the time. Paul Cassidy, I feel like we're going to be a middle of the line team again. Us and the Browns have good teams with average quarterbacks. Next year, another mid-round pick that'll make no difference. Yeah, it kind of is spinning the wheels. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see another. I would not be surprised if we went 7-10 again, just because Carson Wentz, he's not the same guy he was in 2017. A lot of injuries. Tore his ACL, had a back injury, has some ankle injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up being 7-10 or 8-9. 9-8, around that range. We're not going to be bad enough to the point where we're going to get who's the quarterbacks next year, like CJ Stroud and guys like that. We're not going to be bad enough to get those guys, and we already know that. We're going to be right in playoff contention, fighting for a wild card spot, kind of like what they did with the Colts. We're going to be in that same position, like 9-8, 8-9, 7-10, something like that. Chase Young, hopefully he comes back healthy. Montez Sweat, hopefully they play better. The defense needs to step up, man. They did not play well last year, and that's a fact. They were bad last year. They got to play a lot better. Jack Del Rio's got to do a better job. And no excuses for Scotty Turner. No excuses for Scott Turner saying that, I have a terrible quarterback. So I'm happy about that too. I'm happy that that Scott Turner can't use that excuse anymore. Let's see here. There's a lot of comments coming in here. I don't want to miss anything. Shout out to my guy Oscar Josue Montel. He says Zach Ertz to DC with wins here now. Yeah, make sure you guys sub out Oscar Josue Montel. He's an elite channel member. That's my guy. Make sure you guys sub him up as well. But yeah, I would like to have Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is a little older though. That's the only downfall about him. But Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, I wouldn't mind Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz had about 700 yards receiving last year with Kyler Murray as his quarterback. And if it's a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, I wouldn't be mad at all, honestly. or we could just draft a tight end. There's a couple good tight ends in the draft. Trey McBride out of Colorado State. He would be a good option there. I don't know if he's going to be there in the 3rd or 4th round, but, I would take a look at that. But Zach Ertz to DC, Mo Alley Cox from the Colts, maybe we can recruit some guys. Maybe this might be somewhat of an attractive destination for some guys to come to. But I would take a look. I would definitely take a look at Zach Ertz for sure. Chris Hunter, he is a channel member. Shout out to him. He said, "Where's his heart? Does he want to be here?" That's a good question, man. Now we have a Colts fan in here, Tyler Hell. He says, "Welcome to the roller coaster." So he's giving us, what he went through. So I mean, I know there were some good games from him. There were some bad games from Carson Wentz. I know there were some games where Carson Wentz, he beat the Cardinals on Christmas night. They beat the Bills, so they had a couple good wins, but and he let them down. I remember the Ravens game. He had a good drive to beat the Ravens, but they ended up coming up short against the Ravens. The Buccaneers game, they were going back and forth against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against Tom Brady. I want to say he fumbled the ball, but Carson Wentz, he had some good games and he had some bad games for sure. Chris Hunter, this is a good question. Leadership. There's question marks about his leadership in his heart. But before he got traded, there was a picture of Carson Wentz on Instagram, him training with other Colts wide receivers. So you can't really question the man's work ethic. I think there's no question in Carson Wentz's work ethic. The guy wants to win. We know how hard he works. He's a country guy. He loves to hunt ducks and whatnot. But the thing is his leadership. That's the question mark. Can he get along with guys? Can he get along with Ron Rivera? Can he get along with his wide receivers? Can he command the locker room when things are going wrong? Is he able to galvanize guys and be a leader? Is he able to lead us on a comeback? Let's say we're down in an NFC East game. Are we able to rely on him and he can have a game-winning drive? We've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it with the Eagles. We've seen him do it with the Colts a few times. We've seen him make that pass to the back of the end zone to Greg Ward. We've seen him in big games against the Giants and beat the Giants many times before. Is he able to still do that stuff? Is he able to move around the pocket a little bit, be mobile, and throw guys open? Is he able to still do that stuff? But is his heart? This is his last chance. This is his last dance. As Dan Orlovsky said on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky loves Carson Wentz. And even him, this is it for him. This is basically a one-year deal, guys. We already know we can get out of this contract in the next 2 years. There's zero dead money cap hit to his contract. So essentially, this is another one-year deal. Ryan Fitzpatrick was a one-year deal. Case Keenum was a one-year deal. All these one-year deal quarterbacks that we keep getting, stopgap quarterbacks over and over. This is another one-year deal type of thing, essentially. So $28 million is basically a 1 year, $28 million deal with Carson Wentz with a $5 million roster bonus. So this is it for Carson, man. If he can't get right here, then he will be a backup. He will be a backup if he does not find the way to get right here. If he can't stay healthy, this is it. This is it. There's only so many chances you can get. And when you're on three teams in 3 years, there's only so many chances you can get. Somebody says Heineke pushes Wentz to be his 2017 or he won't start. Yeah, there won't really be a competition. There will be a competition, but I don't. He's gonna win. He's gonna win a competition. They're not gonna let that happen. They're not gonna let him. They're not gonna let Heineke beat out Carson Wentz in anyway. He should not be him in a competition. And like I said before, I don't see us drafting a quarterback. That's the thing. Now, if Malik Willis does fall, then you might have to take a look at that. But once again, it's kind of like you're doing a Jalen Hurts thing again. You're drafting another quarterback. How is Carson Wentz going to respond to that? Is he going to be mad and kind of hurt like he was with Philly when they drafted what's his name, Jalen Hurts? Or if Kenny Pickett's at 11, are you going to draft him? So that's a big question mark. Or are you going to help Carson Wentz? Because the thing is, why would you bring Carson Wentz here if you're going to draft a quarterback? You could have just signed Teddy B if you're going to draft a quarterback. I'd rather do that and pay him $7 million rather than paying Carson Wentz $28 million and then drafting a quarterback. That makes zero sense. So that makes Ron look bad, in my opinion, too, if he does draft a quarterback. So Ron right now, he's sinking with the ship. He's going to go as far as Carson Wentz goes. In my opinion, I think Ron Rivera goes as far as Carson Wentz goes. If Carson Wentz does not pan out, then the seat gets very hot because he's investing his eggs in Carson Wentz. It would not help Carson Wentz to draft a quarterback. Helping Carson Wentz would be drafting a wide receiver or possibly getting another linebacker to help us out. N'Kobe Dean or Devin Lloyd, one of them guys, Derek Stingley, somebody else, Sauce Gardner. You got to help the team out now. You got to make the team better. Dark Knight said, "Ask Kenny. This is a good question. How would we stand in our division with Carson Wentz?" Now look, you look around. So Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the division. Jalen Hurts, he looked okay, but if you look at Philly's schedule, you look at who they beat. They beat the Lions. They beat Sam Darnold with the Panthers. They beat the Jets with Zach Wilson. They beat us with Garrett Gilbert and Taylor Heineke. They beat the Saints with Trevor Siemian and a lot of guys out with the virus. So I like Jalen Hurts. I thought he had some good leadership, but you look at the teams that they beat, and when they actually play playoff teams like the Buccaneers, they got blown out. They got skunked in the playoffs. So Jalen Hurts, he still has some development to do. I personally, I think I would say Carson Wentz is better than Jalen Hurts, not by much, but I would say Carson Wentz is better than Jalen Hurts at the moment. I would say that right now. I confidently say that right now. And first is Dak Prescott. So basically, by the quarterback rankings is basically how the NFC East is going to go. I think we finished second in the NFC East. I think the Giants go, and the Giants might get Mitchell Trubisky. I got the Giants. This is way too early predictions. Giants 5-12. Eagles, they have a tougher schedule. I got them going like 8-9. I got us going like 8-9, 9-8 with Carson Wentz, and then Dallas, they're gonna go like they could either go 10-7. They might have a bad year this year. They really might because they're letting go of Amari Cooper, and they're gonna have a tougher schedule. They're gonna have a first place schedule. So, but right now, I say we're second in the division right now. We're second. We're second in the division right now. It's very close, but I say the Giants are definitely the basement of the division right now. Daniel Jones, Mitchell Trubisky, that's going to be their two quarterbacks this year. Jalen Hurts is a little iffy if you keep him in the pocket, if you make him throw the ball. You see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. You rattle him a little bit, he won't play well. Carson Wentz has potential. He still has high upside. He can throw the ball downfield a little bit. If he keeps his head on straight, give him a good running game, he'll be fine. But I got Wentz over Hurts right now. It's not by much, but I got Wentz over Hurts right now. And then Dak Prescott, he's number one in the NFC East. But it's not really saying much. It's not really saying much. The quarterbacks in the NFC East right now are just not good at the moment. They're just not. Northeast Landlord, what's up, man? He says, thank you for the donation. He said, who you honestly think we should draft first pick? Like I said, I would not draft a quarterback. People are saying, let's draft a quarterback, but it kind of goes against what Ron Rivera just did. If we were going to draft a quarterback, he should not have brought Carson Wentz. He should have just signed Jameis Winston or Teddy B rather than spending $28 million on Carson Wentz. So, but to answer your question, I would go with best player available. If Treylon Burks is there, go get him. If Chris Olave is there, go get him. One of those guys. One of those wide receivers, Garrett Wilson. I was watching Garrett Wilson the other day, man. This guy is mean. He plays mean. He's got swag to him too. Like, he's skinny, but he's like stiff arming guys, pushing guys down to the ground, looking down at them, kind of like what Pierre Garçon used to do back in the day. Look down on guys and run past and run them over, juking guys. We need another wide receiver that can just get the ball and go and make something happen, make something shake with the football. We don't have enough guys that can do that, so that stay healthy on the roster. We need another guy next to Terry McLaurin. If you want to help, if you want to build around Carson Wentz and make him better, you got to bring him receivers. You can't do what Philly did and draft, fourth round guys or JJ Arthur-Whitesides of the world. You got to do better than what the other teams did around him. The Colts, their receiving core was okay. I'm not going to say their receiving core was terrible, but it wasn't great. I think we can have a better wide receiver core if we play our cards right, work some money in free agency, draft another guy. Curtis Samuel comes back healthy. But if we don't go offense, then you got to look at Nakobe Dean. Is he going to drop to 11? Probably not. Is Devin Lloyd going to drop to 11? Who knows? Derek Stingley, I don't see him dropping to 11. Kyle Hamilton, but if one of those guys do drop, then yeah, maybe you do have to look at the defensive side and just take best player available, to be honest. And then the second round, you can get George Pickens from Georgia or Christian Watson from North Dakota State, one of them guys. But you gotta get some more help on the offense. You got to get some more depth. For sure. Lions 88 is Schweitzer enough to fill Scher's spot. I'm not gonna say he's gonna fill a spot, but he is good enough. He's good enough to fill in. He did a good job last year. He did a good job in 2020 when we won the NFC East. He was good enough. Oh, another thing. Carson Wentz's offensive line was ranked 30th in pass protection per PFF for whatever it's worth. So they did have a solid offensive line running the football, but passing. And as Ron Rivera always says, the Commanders' offensive line was 6th in PFF. They're ranked 6th in PFF in pass blocking. So you gotta look at that too. So we got a good offensive line. We got some weapons here. We do need to upgrade though. We do need to upgrade for sure at the wide receiver spot. We need to upgrade. He says, "Look at the wide receivers we have. Hurts will be better because he will have. Y'all don't have better wide receivers. You have Devontae Smith, and that's it. I mean, who else do you have? I mean, Quez Watkins and John Hightower, Greg Ward, Jalen Reagor, really? Jalen Reagor, the guy that y'all don't even want Philly anymore." Paul Cassidy says Carson Wentz had a good offensive line. I think the offensive line might be worth taking in the first round. Good wide receiver will be available in the second round. Terry was a third round pick. I know this logic doesn't. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like you can wait and get a wide receiver in the third round, but not everybody's gonna be Terry McLaurin. Like not everybody's gonna be like, look at De'Ami Brown. I still have faith in De'Ami Brown, but he's just not Terry McLaurin. He's nowhere near that. How many catches did he have on the season? Like 10 catches or something like that. Some of it was he was injured. He had some concentration drops too. Like he dropped a couple wide open passes, but he did have that catch on Trayvon Diggs. And Trayvon Diggs, he did the little smiley face emoji. But remember what Carson Wentz did to Trayvon Diggs with Travis Fulgham. Remember that. So I can't wait till we start playing some of these NFC East teams. But Carson Wentz had he did have a good offensive line. But like I said, according to PFF, like PFF is not gospel, but they were ranked 30th in pass protection. So it is, for what it's worth. They did give up 6 sacks against Jacksonville. They didn't really help him out in that game. Jacksonville, Carson Wentz didn't step up, but it wasn't 100% his fault in that game. Now, like you said, a good wide receiver will be available in the second round. Christian Watson, George Pickens. Who else? There's some other guys that I've seen too. They're going to be really good in the second round. Sky Moore. I forgot. Western Michigan. Sky Moore might be a good pickup too. Calvin Austin from Memphis. There's just a couple low key guys that you could definitely throw out there. Jamie Dove says the Eagles try to get Russell Wilson. Yeah, the Eagles they wanted to upgrade. I can't blame them. They want to get Russell Wilson. The Giants want to get they tried to trade for Russell Wilson as well. So I can't blame these teams for trying to get better, man. The quarterbacks in the NFC East. Shout out to March said I need a PGM. Thank you, appreciate that. She's a channel member as well. Yeah, somebody's 13-23 gamer said I can't handle drafting another linebacker. I'm kind of with you too. I think we need to address this offense. I think we've already spent enough draft capital on the defense, 4 first-round picks. And then we paid William Jackson, and we're paying Kendall Fuller, drafted Ben St. Juice, but we do need another safety. I don't know about drafting a safety in the first round, but, Daxton Hill out of Michigan, if he's there in the second round, you might want to take a look at him. There's a couple safeties in the third round. And draft. We don't have to draft a linebacker in the first round. Chad Muma, if he's there in the second round. Troy Anderson, some other guys that are available, man. There's some good linebackers in the second and third round that you can get. You don't have to get one in the first round. Kobe Dean would be nice. And what's his name? Devin Lloyd would be nice. Joey Shakes, what's up, man? Carson Wentz. All the Eagles fans in the chat. I see y'all. I see you guys. It's all good. I can't wait. I can't wait till Carson Wentz gets. I'm not gonna hype up Carson, but I'm rooting for him to have his revenge tour. Now, when we do play the Eagles, when that schedule comes out, it's gonna be lit because it's gonna. I want to say the Eagles game in Philly is probably gonna be a Sunday night football game. I think both games will probably be nationally televised. I think the one in Philly is gonna be on Sunday night. The one in Landover, Maryland, will probably be on a Monday night, if not Monday night or Sunday night, at least a 4:00 game. And I don't want this to be a Donovan McNabb 2.0 because when Donovan came and he tried to do his revenge, he did beat the Eagles the first time, though. I'll give him that. The second time we played the Eagles, it didn't go too well. Augustine the King, shout out to my guy. That's my guy. Thank you for the donation. He says, we might end up like Seattle 2012 when they drafted Russ in the third round and started the season with a solid quarterback camp like Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson, and Tavares Jackson. Do you see that happen if we draft a quarterback in the third round? I don't see us drafting a quarterback in the third round, though. I don't see that happening because, Carson's strong. He's going to be going in the second round. Desmond Ritter's Desmond Ritter might be a first-round pick after his combine. Like, a lot of people are falling in love with Desmond Ritter. So who knows where he's going to go? He might fall into the first round. Sam Howell. I like Sam Howell. I do like Sam Howell. He might go into this. I don't know. I don't know if Sam Howell's going to go into the second round. But, people love Malik Willis. People love Kenny Pickett. People love Matt Corral. So we'll just see how the draft shakes out. But I don't see us drafting a quarterback. I would not because if I'm Ron, I wouldn't draft a quarterback because he already put his eggs in this Carson Wentz basket when paying him $28 million and a $5 million roster bonus. And you look at our picks. We don't even have that many picks anymore. We used to have we didn't have a lot of picks to begin with. We didn't have a lot of picks to begin with. But I want to pull up our draft picks that we have this year. It's really not great, to be honest. We have another 7th-round pick, but that in the first couple rounds, we don't have a lot of picks. Yeah, right now, because we gave away our 3rd-round pick. And we're usually good at drafting the 3rd round. Antonio Gibson, 3rd-round pick. Terry McLaurin, 3rd-round pick. That's the sweet spot for us. We have pick 11. The 2nd round, we have pick 47. Round 4, we have pick 111. We don't even have a 5th-round pick. The 6th round, we have pick 187. The 7th round, we have 2 7th-round picks. So if you spend a pick on a quarterback, then it's like, okay, you don't have another pick. You have your 2nd-round pick. You have your 4th-round pick. You don't even have a 3rd-round pick. I would definitely think about trading back. I think now we need to trade because we need to add talent. If somebody wants to trade up to and take our pick, I'm all for it. I really am. I'm all for it. Where y'all hiding at? Or where you hiding at? Oh, another Eagles fan. Okay. He says, first off, thank you for the donation, my guy. He says, first off, good show, but I really don't see you winning any. Wow, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. He says, let me drink a little water on that one, man. Let me drink a little water. I don't have my secret stuff, but it's all good. Okay, so yeah, Eagles fans heavy in the chat today. Okay. He says, first off, good show, but I really don't see you guys winning any games. Okay, we'll see about that. Call me crazy, but Hurts is better than Ginger. Okay. Hurts will have better weapons. Like I said, I disagree. I mean, who other than Devontae, who do you guys have? I mean, you got Dallas Goedert. Miles Sanders is okay, but y'all are talking about releasing Miles Sanders and trading him. Y'all don't. Eagles fans don't even want Miles Sanders there anymore. Jalen Reagor is a bust. You guys know that. He can't even return a kick without muffing the punt or muffing a kickoff. He can't even catch the football. He's got worse hands than Nelson Aguilar. Who else I got? Quez Watkins. He's okay, but he's like a 5th option. John Hightower is a 5th option. Devontae Smith is out there just asking for help. He's like Terry McLaurin looking around looking for help. Jalen Hurts can't even really get into the football most of the time. I do like Jalen Hurts, but I don't think he's better than Carson Wentz. Not at this moment. I think it's very close, but I think Carson Wentz is the better quarterback at this moment. But no, we're definitely gonna beat y'all. We definitely beat y'all. We beaten y'all at least once. We're gonna sweep the Giants. We're gonna sweep Daniel Jones, Danny Fumbles, and Mitchell Trubisky because Mitchell Trubisky's going to the Giants. You can book that. We're gonna sweep the Giants. Carson Wentz doesn't lose to the Giants. 7-2 against the Giants. He doesn't lose to the Giants. You already know. You should know what he does to the Giants. Carson, he's gonna beat the Giants twice. I'm gonna say if we don't sweep y'all, then we'll split with y'all. Cowboys, I got to see how it shakes out. Do they get another wide receiver other than Amari Cooper? When is Gallup coming back? How's their defense going to look? I don't think the Cowboys are going to be as good as they were this year record wise because they have a tougher schedule. They have a first place schedule, so I just got to see how it shakes out. But no, that's very disrespectful. We're definitely going to win some division games. We're definitely going to beat y'all for sure. Carson, yeah, Carson, he's definitely going to come in Philly and beat y'all for sure. Tommy T says, "Wonder who else traded for Wentz." Yeah, I mean that's a good question. You could say, and that's the thing too. They offered a 4th and 6th for Carson Wentz, but the Colts, they know how desperate we are, and the other teams trying to get quarterbacks too. I want to say that if I had to guess, it'd probably be like the Steelers. I wouldn't say the Panthers. Maybe the Panthers, the Steelers. Who else needs a quarterback? Yeah, Joey Shakes. He said Hurts is not better than Carson. There you go. This is from Eagles fan right here. Not in a passing quarterback. Some Eagles fans need to be real, and this is coming from a real Eagles fan. He's not better. And like I said, I don't hate Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has potential. I think he has potential, but he's not better than Carson Wentz right now. Daniel Jones. I think everybody in the NFC East can agree that Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the NFC East right now. The bat. Thank you for the donation. He says if a quarterback needed team, the Steelers. Yeah, I think the Steelers probably inquired about Carson Wentz. Who else is looking for a quarterback? The Panthers, they need a quarterback. The Broncos got their guy. The Seahawks are looking for a quarterback now. There's still, a good amount of teams looking for a quarterback out there. So yeah, it was probably a bidding war between the Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin, you gotta look at it this way too. If other teams make a trade, people hype it up and trade. They hype it up. If the Steelers would have traded for Carson Wentz, I bet you the national media, everybody, oh my gosh, Mike Tomlin made such a good move. He's going to save Carson Wentz. He's going to look really good with the Steelers and whatnot. But since he's coming to the Commanders, it's easy to say it's going to be a failure if he comes to the Commanders. But if he went to the Steelers, everybody be like, oh man, they got T.J. Watt, they got Chase Claypool, they got Najee Harris. Everybody probably hype that move up. But since he's coming to the Commanders, not a lot of people really hyping it up. But like I said, I'm not hyping this move up. I'm lukewarm. Last year we traded for Ryan Fitzpatrick. A lot of people hyped the move up. They were like, oh, he's top 5 in QBR. Mike Greenberg from ESPN, Louis Riddick, Rich Eisen, all these national media guys were hyping up the move. And I was like, I'm not really optimistic about it, but I'm going to roll with the punches. We got a good defense. Ron Rivera is a solid coach. Chase Young had a good year. But this year, my expectations for this defense is very low. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know when Chase Young is coming back. This defense did not look good. My hopes are not high with this defense, but we are playing lesser competition. We are playing a third-place schedule. So I'm cautiously optimistic with this team. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, like I said. I do think there's opportunities for Carson Wentz to get better, but this offseason is crucial, man. We have to get some more talent around Carson Wentz if we want him to be successful. We have to. And signing a veteran linebacker is definitely on the list. And now we need a safety since we let go Landon Collins. We needed a safety anyway, but, we'll see if they bring back Bobby McCain. The Bat, thank you for the donation. He says, I say if a quarterback needy team, the Steelers want to trade for pick 11, we should let them. Yeah, I would let them have it too. Give us more draft capital. Yeah, I want to trade back. I really do. I want to trade back. Now, Ron Rivera, he's got to keep quiet on this. Now, he can't be telling everybody in the world that I want to trade back, like he did with his quarterback situation, where he was just telling the world, oh, I'm looking for a quarterback. I'm looking for a quarterback. I'm being aggressive for a quarterback. He's just telling everybody no and letting everybody know. This time, he definitely this scenario is a little different though. And it is not everybody's going to tell the truth this year or this time of year. It's rumor season right now. But if he does, of course, he should pick up the phone and be like, hey, we want to trade back. We got our guy in Carson Wentz. We're not going to take Malik Willis. We're not going to take Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral. We want to trade back. We want to add more talent. We want to get some more wide receivers. We want to get a linebacker, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I would definitely trade back too, because right now you got to build around Carson Wentz. Right now we're almost in a Kirk Cousins situation because we can't add much talent through free agency. Same with Kirk Cousins. You had that big contract with Kirk Cousins. Who are you really going to sign in free agency? You're not going to sign many guys. But yeah, we're going to have to build through the draft with talent this year. We cannot, no disrespect to Jamin Davis, but we're going to have to hit on some of these picks to build this team up. We're going to have to do really well in the draft this year. Draft either N'Kobe Dean or Devin Lloyd. Just please excuse me, some of those Philly fans coming hot. Bum Simmons. Yeah, I know you guys are lit today. I know you guys are lit today because of Ben Simmons coming to town. And then Carson Wentz going to DC. Tim Aldridge said, I don't know who I'd rather have driven. Oh my gosh, Tim, you're just off the hook today. You're off the hook. Let me get off that comment real quick. Holla at Yemi. He says, great show, bro. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you, man. Chris Olsen said, we got some numbers right here. Heineke ranked 23rd in QBR with 6th ranked pass protection. Carson Wentz ranked 9th QBR with 30th ranked pass protection. So, yeah, and that's a good number. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into advanced stats because we did the same thing with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, talking about top 5 QBR, top 5 this. He had a better QBR than Deshaun Watson. He had a better QBR than Tom Brady, but you don't have to get into the numbers to really talk about is Carson Wentz better than Taylor Heineke. He's better than Taylor Heineke. The pass that Taylor Heineke threw in Dallas where it got intercepted, that's not going to happen with Carson Wentz. He's going to hit the guy outside the numbers. Now, there are some boneheaded plays that Carson Wentz will make. You look at the Jaguars game, that was a terrible interception. And he did have 18 turnover-worthy plays. He did throw a lot of balls that definitely could have got caught, that could have been intercepted, but they dropped it. Same thing with Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke got lucky in that Raiders game where it could have been a pick 6. But, Carson Wentz, he just has a stronger arm. We need somebody that can air the football out, throw the football downfield. Terry McLaurin is going to benefit from that. Curtis Samuel is going to benefit from that. Taylor Heineke, he just wasn't able to stretch the field. The arm strength was limited. This offense was limited. We'll see what Scott Turner can do. No more excuses for Scott Turner. I'm happy about that because I'm tired of the excuses for Scott Turner. That's one big thing for me too. Brian Harding, he's a channel member. Shout out to him. We need a big rebound from Curtis Samuel. Yeah, we're just going to have to draft somebody. Chris Olave from Ohio State. We're going to have to get another Ohio State guy. Treylon Burks. I like Garrett Wilson. I just like his swag. I like wide receivers who are mean. When wide receivers are mean, they're talking trash. He's a yak guy. He's getting open, and I like guys that can create separation. Now, the only thing about Treylon Burks, he's a big guy. You know, he does create separation, but not as much as Garrett Wilson does. That's the only critique I really have on him and Drake London. Garrett Wilson's really creating separation out there. That's the kind of wide receiver that I'm looking for right now for this team. I'm looking for guys that are fast and that really can create separation. Now, Treylon Burks, like I said, he does too, but he's more of like a 50-50 guy where you got to throw it up to him. Can Carson Wentz do that? I think Carson Wentz can do that for sure. But from just watching guys, I like Garrett Wilson. I just like his swag. I just want guys who are mean this year. I want more guys who are mean. You know, we need no more Boy Scouts. No knock on the military guys. I want some dogs in here, man. I want some guys who are just mean. You know, for real. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Carson Wentz, he does fumble. He does fumble too. He's starting to clean it up. Greg Lancaster says cut Sheriff, get more money. We can't cut Brandon Sheriff because he's not under contract. He is a free agent. Danny Fumbles, you already know what it is. Danny Fumbles, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Vanguardian TV says Hurts one and only playoff appearance was he got skunked. He got skunked. You already know. Washington Command Center. I think we should sign Zach Ertz and Travis Fulgham to make Wentz more comfortable. Yeah, I would try to make him more comfortable too. If you want to bring in Travis Fulgham, sure, make him try out in camp, see what you can do with that. Zach Ertz, I would definitely bring him in for sure. See what the money is about. See how much is he looking for. Is he going to take a discount, to play with his buddy in Carson Wentz? Is he willing to do that? Is he going to take a 2-year, $10 million deal or something like that, or like a 2-year, $8 million deal? I would take a look at that. I'd take a strong, hard look at Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz can still play. He had a good year last year. I'd take a look at that. Chris Allen, Pats fan here. I feel bad for y'all. First the name, another quarterback. Good luck. I really feel bad for Taylor Heineke. Don't feel bad for Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke, man, he's done a lot of things that he never thought he would do. Taylor Heineke was about to retire. He was sitting on his sister's couch at one point. So he came from the XFL. He was a backup quarterback in the XFL. And he had a solid year last year. Not a great year, but he had a solid year. As far as the Patriots, you feel bad for us. Hey man, like I said, I'm not banging on the table that I'm happy that we got Carson Wentz. Is he an upgrade? Yeah, he is. He's an upgrade. If you can build around Carson Wentz, get him some wide receivers, get him a strong run game. You already got Terry McLaurin. Add to that, help him out. And then against a third place schedule against the NFC East, get 2 wins against the Giants. You look at the schedule. There's some games that you definitely got to take care of. And if you can win 9 games and make the wild card, then that probably will give Ron Rivera a little bit more time on this contract. It's a 5-year contract. It's only year 3. If this year goes bad, then I think his seat really should get hot because, he's attaching his name to Carson Wentz. He's attaching his legacy to Carson Wentz. Yeah, Jay. If Carson, Buccaneers too. Tampa Bay. I heard they were interested as well in Carson Wentz. Now, like I said, if they would have moved him to the Steelers or the Buccaneers, everybody would have hyped it up. That's how it goes with DC though. We need a tall wide receiver. I'm not really hyped up in getting a tall wide receiver. If you can get open, Josh Doctson was tall. Antonio Gandy-Golden was tall. Look how that worked out. So I'm not really pressed in getting a tall wide receiver. As long as you can create separation and get open, that's all that matters to me. If you can get separation, look at Cooper Kupp. How tall is he? Like 6'1", 6'2". That's not overly tall. There's some short wide receivers that can get busy. Terry McLaurin, he's 6 feet tall. So, I mean, they don't have to be 6'4" for me to be a good wide receiver, but we need a wide receiver pretty badly. Brian Harding, you guys saying it was a bad move. Hold on 1 second. I got to drink a little water. I think somebody sent in a $300 donation, so I got to drink a little water after that. Shout out to that. Shout out to him. Let me get to my man, Grand Groove though. That's my guy. He says, "Yo, what's up, Ed? It's TCB Johnny. That's my guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I follow you on the gram, and I'm a DM you on the gram for sure." He said, "Can you give us a small mock draft?" Small mock draft for me. Like I said, I want Garrett Wilson. He's a dog. We need some more mean guys on this roster. No more nice guys. No knock against the military guys like Jamin Davis and Boy Scouts and whatever. But we need somebody mean. When I seen Garrett Wilson stiff arm guys and just look down on them and flex on them. I'm like, yeah, I want that guy. I want that guy at 11 next to Terry McLaurin. Two guys who can run and get open and are mean and physical. You already know the Eagles. Eagles fans in here, you know what Terry McLaurin does to the Eagles. Imagine what Garrett Wilson and Terry McLaurin are going to do to the Eagles. It's going to be night-night for them. It's going to be night-night for the Eagles. Pick 11 for me is Garrett Wilson. Get a wide receiver. Round 2, if Chad Muma's available in the second round, go ahead and get him. Third round, we don't have a third round pick now. So we got pick number 1, pick 2, pick 4 in round 4. If McBride from Colorado State, the tight end, if he's available, go get him. Pick 6, pick 7. We have 2 7-round picks. I don't know most of the guys in the back end of the draft. I still got to do some more research before the draft. But like I said, pick 4. I would take a look at a safety, actually. I know a lot of people talk about Smoke Monday. I take a look at him. Those are some of the mid-round safeties I've heard about. Daxton Hill, I don't think he's going to go to the 4th round. I don't think he'll be available. But, those are some of the guys. Pick 1, I would just get a best player available. Get a weapon, man. Get Carson some help. Then round 2, I would get a defensive player. Maybe Troy Anderson. Maybe if you want to get another Bama boy, Christian Harris, somebody like that. There's some other guys out there. Maybe the other guy from Georgia, I forgot his name. The linebacker is it's like not N'Kobe Dean, but it was his sidekick at linebacker. I forgot the guy's name for real. Grand Groove, he said, yeah, that's my guy. TCB Johnny, yes sir, yes sir. That's my guy. Shout out to him. Thank you for the donation. Jameson Ward, thank you for the donation. Jameson Williams from Alabama is a guy I would take a look at. If he was healthy, I would. Jameson Williams might be my first pick if he was healthy, but he's not. That's the only thing about that. Washington Command Center. Make sure you guys sub up Washington Command Center too. Make sure you guys sub up DMV Sports Zone. I think I already said that in the beginning. Unknown Zim. Yeah, we don't have a lot of picks, guys. First round, second round, 4th, and 6th, and 2 7-round picks. It's not a lot of picks, guys. We don't have a 5th or a 3rd. We don't have a 5th or a 3rd. We really don't have a lot to work with. And if people are talking about trading up for a quarterback, that would not make much sense. We don't have a lot of ammo. We don't have a lot of assets to trade up for a quarterback. I would not trade up for a quarterback either. Somebody said Hinkle would be starting midseason. 101 on Arsenal. He says, "Hey, good to see you doing live streams. I've been doing them for a while from the London, UK. Landon Collins overseas. Yeah, like I have no ill will with Landon Collins. Shout out to Big Symbol thing. He's a channel. He says we lit. That's my guy. Make sure you sub him up. But Landon Collins, once again, I have no ill will. I have no ill will against Landon Collins. As long as he doesn't go off, when people leave here, they like to talk. They like to talk. They like to say things. Deshaun Jackson saying that one time. And remember, when we were up 17-0, this is against us. Look at what a speedy receiver does for Carson Wentz. Look at when the Eagles had Deshaun Jackson, right? That one game against us. I know it was against us. We were up 17-0. This man was throwing bombs to Deshaun Jackson. He's throwing bombs to Travis Fulgham. These are things that Carson Wentz is capable of doing. He is able to throw the ball down. He has a strong arm. He has big hands. He's a country-fed country boy. That's what he is. He's a country guy. He's strong as crap. He's like 6'5". He's a big boy. So he can take hits, duck his head under, get open, throw guys open. So that's what Carson. He's capable. He's still capable of doing that. He's still capable of doing that. Alexander Spivey, thank you for the donation, man. Like I said, man, thank you for that. I appreciate you, man. He said, keep grinding, homie. I appreciate you, man, for sure, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I am moving, guys, so you're going to see a different background. I'm moving next week. I'm going to have a man cave again. So if you guys were subscribed to me 4 or 3 years ago, I had a background. I had like Wizard stuff in the background. I had Georgetown in the background. I had all DC sports. So I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna try to paint the wall behind me and just have a nice little man cave, a nice setup. I'm gonna try to get back to that. So Alexander, thank you for that. I'll probably be using that $300. My son as well. My son hasn't been on the channel, and then of course some news that y'all don't care, but I have another little one on the way. It's another boy, so we're gonna have 2 boys. Hopefully one is a power forward, one is a center. Hopefully they're both 6'9", 6'8". We'll see. But we're about to have a front court or a back court. So, but thank you guys for subbing up and all that good stuff and checking out the channel. I'll probably be on here for like 10 more minutes, and then I gotta get back. I gotta get back to what I was doing. But thank you, Alexander, man. I appreciate you, man. Salute to you, man. I appreciate you. Big Simple says Washington Command Center, we lit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. You already know. Shamar, I got to talk to him. Shamar, he's always talking trash. So I already knew you were hyped to come in here and talk trash. I already know. Let's see here. Make DC great again. Went on Arsenal with Curtis, Jeremiah, Butler. Imagine that guy sitting next to 209. You're funny as crap. You're funny. You're funny, Jeremiah. Lions 88 says, go back to the combine and watch the wide receivers run. Garrett runs crazy. Dude, yeah, I'm telling you. Alec Pierce from Cincinnati, he had a good combine too. That's another guy. I heard they met with Alec Pierce. They met with Chad Muma as well. Now the meetings, they don't always mean anything, but they met with Chad Muma. They met with Alec Pierce. They met with Sam Howell. They basically met with all the quarterbacks. But those are some of the guys that, yeah, he said, no, I did. This is legit. Shout out to my guy Alexander. But those are some of the guys that they met with. Devin Lloyd, we'll see. Tyrann Mathieu, that's not realistic in my opinion. You got to pay him too much. We just cut Landon Collins, so I don't see us spending big money on a free agent safety at that. And another thing, Tyrann Mathieu, he has to come here. You know, are we an attractive place? The only way that people are going to come here is if we really overpay. You know, the only reason why Carson Wentz is here now is because he didn't have a he's not. Russell Wilson had a no trade clause. Deshaun Watson has a no trade clause, but Carson Wentz doesn't have that. You know, his options are running out. So who is he to really stick his nose up and say, "Oh, I don't want to come to Washington"? He doesn't have that ability. He didn't have that in his contract. So to get a guy like a Tyrann Mathieu, I don't see that happening. I don't see him really wanting to come to Washington unless we really overpay for him. Kenny G Productions. I like Drake London, man. He's a big boy. He's a big body, man. He's fast as crap. He's a break tackle. He's mean too. I like my wide receivers to be mean. He's mean too. He's stiff armor guys and running through tackles. He's a big boy that can move. They compare him to Mike Evans. He looks like Mike Evans a little bit out there, just the size and the stature being 6'4". He would help too. I like this. This wide receiver class is good. I don't see any busts in this wide receiver class. You never know, but I don't see any guys just flaming out or being bad. Alexander Wilson said people are marketing Drake London to us. I would take that. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Drake London. I really am. I'd be happy with that. Carson Wentz, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not a top 10 offense in the league. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick. James Cook. Somebody asked me, my guy TCB Johnny for the mock draft, if we do draft another running back. James Cook out of Georgia, Dalvin Cook's little brother. And then also, there's another running back from Florida. His name is Devin Pierce. I think his name is Devin Pierce. He did really good in the Senior Bowl. And he's physical. He's mean. We need a bruiser. We need a bruising running back because we got to help out Antonio Gibson. He cannot play a 17-game season. It is hard to do that. No knock on him. It's hard to stay healthy for 17 games. We need another running back. Devin, and I like Jared Patterson, but you still have to add more. And he's good in pass pro too. I think his name is Devin Pierce out of Florida. I think he might be going in the third or the fourth round. But I would take a long look at him. I like him a lot. He's real physical. He's mean too. He's another mean guy too. Christian sort of said we literally have no linebackers, but we have two wide receivers and just drafted one. Christian, I think it's pretty clear why we want another wide receiver. Can you really rely on Curtis Samuel? Shamar, what did you even ask? Christian, can you really rely on what's his name? Curtis Samuel. Can you really rely on those guys? I like Cam Sims, but are they reliable? You need more talent. You know, you look at the rest of the league. Why did Russell Wilson choose the Denver Broncos over us? And I'm not going to say it's just because of the dysfunction with the organization, but if I'm Russell Wilson, I see Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler. Of course, I'm gonna go with those guys. Of course, I'm going with those guys. Andy Man, and are there any specific players? I think we should pick up a free agency. Excuse me, linebacker. I would take a look at Foye Oluokun, but if you want to save money, because now we just don't have a lot of money to spend like that, I would take a look at Anthony Carter Jr. He was on the Browns. He played middle linebacker. Jayon Brown out of Tennessee. He would be a solid veteran middle linebacker that you wouldn't have to spend big money on. There's some other guys out there too, but I can't remember. Anthony Carter Jr. and Jayon Brown's not bad. There's some other, like I said, 4-year Luakon, but you got to spend money on him. That's the only thing on him. But those are some of the free agent linebackers I'd take a look at. Running back, I'm not really gonna get a running back in free agency. At guard to replace Brandon Scherf, keep an eye on these guys. Andrew Norwell played with the Panthers before. I would take a look at him. At guard, Trey Turner are probably some guys that Ron Rivera is going to try to bring in. That's for the offensive line. Cornerback, maybe Dante Jackson from the Panthers. That's another guy that I could see them trying to bring in. Safety, I think we just bring back Bobby McCain. So, but wide receiver, you can take a look at a couple guys. Russell Gage from the Falcons. Those are some low-key guys. Allen Robinson, I think he's going to price out of our price range. I would take a look at trying to think who else. Some bargain bin guys like Marcus Valdez-Scantling, guys like that. Maybe Cedric Wilson from Dallas, but I don't really see us making a splash in free agency. I just don't see it. I think Ron Rivera is going to do another type of bargain bin shopping like he did with Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick, those guys of the world, the Wes Schweitzers of the world, Cornelius Lucases of the world, like bargain bin shopping, guys that you never heard of, guys like that. That's what I think we're going to sign, guys like that. But as far as tight end, maybe OJ Howard, maybe OJ Howard, Zach Ertz. I take a look at him. OJ Howard, and I can't remember Mo Alley Cox. I would get somebody like him too. For the podcast. So I think we're going to see. Not yet. Not quite. Not quite. I wouldn't say not quite. Jamie Mr. DC Defenders. Yeah, XFL, man, it's supposed to come back. It's supposed to come back. G-Man said, we don't got the cap space to draft anyone anyway now. Yeah, we don't have a lot. We got to make some maneuvers. Now, one surprise cut that I will say before I get out of here, guys. I don't want to say this. I don't want to see it happen. But, there are some people do think that Matt Ioannidis might be a cap casualty. I got to see how much he would free up in cap space. But, since we do have depth at the defensive line spot, I wouldn't be surprised if they did talk to or a contract restructure with Matt Ioannidis. I would take a look at that. But I don't want to see Matt Ioannidis go. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm very behind on comments, so I see everybody saying congratulations. I'm very behind. On stuff. Let's see here. But I'm gonna do some more. Free agency is gonna be crazy next week, March 14th. That's a Monday, so I'm gonna try to go live. On that. I'm gonna try to go live during that week. Of course, I'll probably go live with my Elite Channel members, OG, Warpath, Kenny Man Fitness, Oscar. Ed, do you have enough money in free agency? Right now, we got $12 million in free agency. It's not that much. It's not much at all. Michael Robinson, will Scott Turner keep the team for most halves this season, even if we draft a wide receiver? Scott Turner, we'll see. The jury's out on him, man. The jury's out on him. We'll see. Connor Williams will be a great sheriff for play. He had a lot of penalties with Dallas, so it's tough on him. Dark Knight said no. Russell went to Denver because they were only trading him to the AFC. If Denver didn't want to make a trade for him, they would have no other choice but to give him to us. Yeah, Russ just didn't want to come here. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. He just didn't want to come here. You can't force somebody to come here. Now, when that happened, I was very disappointed. I'm not gonna say it's very disappointed, but it just reminded us of where Washington is as a franchise. It just reminded we're just not an attractive destination right now. Cash Game saying, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a Colts fan, and Carson didn't play terrible, but when it mattered, he crumbled. Man, that's just not what anyone wants or needs. Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing. Like he wasn't terrible, but he just didn't show up in the big moments. Like he lost to the Raiders with Derek Carr, who's a good quarterback, and then he lost to the Jaguars when they needed to win 2 games down the stretch and make the playoffs. He lost both those games, and his track record now is 3 teams in 3 years. The mental thing, drafting Jalen Hurts. You look at how he responded to that. The Philly fans or Chris Long in the Eagles locker room building a shrine for Nick Foles and praising him because that's the Eagles' only Super Bowl, so they don't know how to act. So they're building a shrine for Nick Foles. building a statue for Nick Foles, building a statue for Doug Peterson. You know, that aided his mentality. Came back, took it to the playoffs, got hurt again. Then the next year they draft a quarterback. You know, doesn't get along with Howard Roseman, doesn't get along with Doug Peterson. Questions about his leadership. Now I am going to watch Hard Knocks and see how he was as a person. You know, so but like I said, I'm not going to get my hopes up. We'll see. We got to add more talent, guys. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, of course. Hit the notification bell and all that, guys. All right, y'all. Salute to the Commanders. Peace.